Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Daniel's Natural RC channel with another video. Um, I pretty much got my voice back, so that's a good thing. Um, if it cuts out, I apologize, but just bear with me. But anyway, few things that I'm going to do to my big block tonight, and I'm going to show you um, the progress that I've done to it, and I think you guys are all going to like what I've done. So I'm going to show you what the truck looks like now. So here we go. I'll get right into it. This is what the truck looks like right now. I relocated the battery box to be right here instead of right here because there wasn't enough room for it to fit. Okay, and then I put my servos back on. Turn the track a little bit. Put my servos back on. I didn't hook up the throttle yet. That's one of the things that I need to do. The other thing I need to do is secure the exhaust with a wire going down. Got the perfect gear ratio, or the perfect gear mesh, I mean. There was a few things that I was going to do to this truck tonight. Now you guys can see what I've been working on. Still need to put my rear drive shaft in. I need to get a longer one. So the things that I have left is I need to re-drill holes for my throttle throttle rod, or whatever you call this thing, throttle post. And I need to move it out a little bit because the problem that I'm having is there's holes already drilled for it right here. Well, it won't fit. So I gotta make it come out a little bit to accept the room for it. So I think I might try to install that tonight too as well. But we'll just see how it goes. The one thing that I do want to do is tighten down the engine all the way. I'm going to show you the underneath side of the truck, what I had to do. So I had to re-drill holes for the engine. Those are the holes that I had to re-drill. That's how far I had to move the engine up to make it work. So we're going to start off by putting the rest of the screws in for the engine. I'm going to go ahead and pull this exhaust off. And it's like really tight, really, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, it's a tight fit, but it fits. See, there's my pipe. So the first thing I'm going to do is finish putting the engine screws in to hold the engine down. So that's what I'm going to be doing now to it. And then I might drill holes for my throttle bracket. So I'm going to get my tools down. We're going to tighten down the engine on this thing. Oh yes, and I'm gonna re-oil my air filter too. Got an air filter housing. I'm just gonna use that because there's nothing wrong with it. It's still in really good shape. I'm just gonna use that. So I'm gonna start off and tighten down this engine. Or finish tightening it down. I might have to use an Allen wrench for this so it doesn't slip on me, because I really want these screws to be on there good so it doesn't slip. This one I can get to pretty good. Okay, there's that one. I'm going to put the other screw in. Hope you all had a pretty good day today. Mine went pretty good. I'm just trying to get this truck done. So there's two screws. Get this hose out of my way. It's pretty cool how this thing's coming together. Couldn't be more happier with how it's turning out. Pretty sweet build. So I'm just tightening down the engine. I'm gonna got me a better pair of pliers, that way I can grab my Allen wrench. All right, so that's all for the top screws. So I got those fully mounted in there. Now we're gonna tighten down the bottom ones. So I'm gonna flip the truck completely upside down, and we're gonna tighten up the rest of them. Still have the perfect gear mesh. And these you want on there pretty tight, because this is what holds your engine in place. All right, guys. So the engine is fully mounted in there. Got the perfect gear. Got the perfect gear mesh there. Engine's fully mounted. All the screws are in. Okay, so now that I got that done, now that I have that done, I'm gonna oil up the air filter with my blue air filter oil. So I'm gonna do that next. Let me go get a microfiber cloth, guys. I'll be right back. Okay, so we're gonna oil up this air filter. So we're gonna put a little bit on there. And we're gonna work that oil in there. Sometimes it takes a little bit, so make sure you get it oiled real well, because this is what prolongs the life of your engine. Just work that oil in there real good. This is the messy part of it, but it's worth it. All right. So now we got some air filter oil on there. I'm going to put that back together. Make sure you don't overdo it. Sometimes you got to pull some of the oil out. Sometimes it can be a little bit thick. So just want a good layer on there. Now we're going to push the air filter back in there. There we go. Just like that. And then put it back on the way it came off. Take some of that oil and polish the case too, like that. See? There we go. All right. Air filter is oiled. So we're going to go ahead and put that right back on the engine. Keep that oil and dirt out of there. Or that dirt out of there. Okay, now I got to figure out how I'm going to mount my throttle bar on there and what I need to do. So now I need to figure out how far out I need to put it. I don't want to get it too far out. I'm going to put this linkage back on there so I can see what I'm doing here. So I need to put it about right there. So I need to make me a hole, or drill a hole right there where I need to have it. So this is going to be kind of like the tedious part because I need to figure out exactly where I need to redo this at. I think it should be fun right there. I want to try to get it as close as I can so it doesn't hit on anything. And I think that that'll be the ideal spot for it right there. So I'm going to re-drill this out. And thank you for the thumbs up, whoever's watching. So I'm going to scratch a little area on the chassis so I can re-drill that hole. And I got it. Should have something to scratch something on there. Let me see. There we go. Put that right there. So I'm gonna and that'll be for my throttle post. So I got the transmission fully mounted, the engine's fully mounted, and the exhaust does fit. I just gotta make a wire for the exhaust for it to work, and then should be pretty good here before long. Should have a pretty good running truck. So now I need to figure out what size drill bit I need. I think this might be the right size I need. Let me see here. Let me flip this up. And we'll stick this drill bit in there. You know what? That's it. It's a little bit bigger, but it'll work. Throttle post right here because it will not fit in the stock holes. So I'm going to move it out a little bit and then it should be fine. So I'm going to get my drill ready and I'm going to get ready to drill these holes. Okay. But everything else lines up perfectly. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can drill this out. Might have to move some stuff out of the way here so I can drill this. Actually, I'm going to remove this fuel line because I know it's going to be in my way. And I'm going to put this plug right back on here so I don't get no metal shavings in the fuel line inlet on the carburetor. I don't want to get anything in there. Hey, Austin, thanks for watching. So, I'm going to go ahead and drill this hole out so I can get my throttle post in here. So we're going to just drill a hole right here. Now this is aluminum, so you just got to drill it super, super slow like I am, and then it'll be all right. All right, there's the first hole. So now I need to drill 2 more holes to make this work. Get the shavings out of there. So now that screw should fit. Now, let's see. Going to, it's making a mess. We got aluminum shavings all over, but hey, that's okay. That's why I have a vacuum cleaner. So I'm going to take this screw back out, like so, and that screw should fit right in there where I drilled that. See that? Fits in there. That's what you want, okay? So now I need to drill 2 more holes that will fit, make that fit. So I'm going to drill one right by it. I'm just going to go off of this pattern here. And you want to keep it lined up with the other holes. Okay, there's 2. Might be a little bit off, but hey, if it fits in there, it'll fit. So that's what you want to do. You got to have this on here. Okay, so that's 2. That should fit right down in there. Okay, got that one. Now, I'm going to drill 1 more hole for it to fit, and then we can get the throttle linkage on there. Can you put it as a top view? Yep, sure can. So now what I'm going to do is drill 1 more hole right by it, and hopefully it will fit then. All right. So I got that one. Hopefully that'll fit in there. We'll try it out. Yes, it does fit. Okay, we're good. Just as long as it fits in there, you're good. Now, will that hole on the bottom line up? Yep, it does. All right, we're good. Get all those shavings out of the way. Let me clean this up real fast, guys. Let me go grab my vacuum cleaner and then we'll do the next step. I'm going to make a little bit of noise. I just want to get those steel shavings off my table. So bear with me a little bit. To make sure I got it all. Okay, guys. Now back to the project. So I'm going to put the truck back where it was. There we go. We're going to install this throttle horn now. So you got one that's on the very top and you got one that's on the very bottom. Your servo linkage will go to the very top one, which is this one right here. So you're going to put your linkage in there just like that for your servo. And we're going to fit it in there. And that looks pretty good. We're good there. And that, see, that'll work with the servo now. And that should get, let's see, let me look at one of my Tmaxx's real fast just to make sure I have this hooked up right. Because I want to make sure that the throttle linkage is the same. I'm just going by one of my other Tmaxx's. Okay, so, yep, I have that on there correctly. So that will now work. Now I need to figure out throttle linkage to my carb now that I have that all hooked up. It's pretty cool how it's coming together. So I'm going to go ahead and put this screw in on the bottom to secure that down. I'm going to flip the truck upside down, and guess what? I just lost my screw. So I need to find that. There we go. Put this back in here. So this is what holds your throttle horn in place. So we're going to tighten this down. One screw that holds it. That's it. All right. So now that's in place. Now you guys can see where the stock one was, stock holes were, which are right there by the frame rail, right where my finger's at. That's where I had to re-drill. So I had to go out that far for it to work. Okay. So that's what you do if you want to make one of these trucks. You have to move that out a little bit. So now it will have throttle now. I'm gonna go down here and show you guys what it looks like. See, now you have your linkage connected to your servo all the way back to here. See, now it moves for your throttle. And then your other hole goes right to your carburetor slide. So now we should have throttle here before long. This is really exciting, guys. I'm excited to get this track going. Pretty cool. Okay, now I'm going to see once if this is going to be long enough for me to even use, because I know that I have to do some adjustments to the throttle and stuff like that. So I'm going to see how far out this goes for the Tmaxx. It might get me by. So let me try to fit this linkage in here to see if it's long enough. No, it is not. So I need to make me a custom wire that will reach from here to my new carb slide, which shouldn't be too hard. I just need a longer wire to reach to that. And this is pretty much because you want it to go so it pushes that way to open up the slide, and that's what you want. But at least I have this on here. That's a major plus. I'm going to get all this shavings out of there. Okay, so this is pretty much this is really good, guys. I mean, I wanted to get this stuff done tonight, and I accomplished that. So you saw me tighten down my engine all the way. That's fully mounted. Transmission's fully mounted. Now I got my throttle horn fully mounted. Now, the only thing I have left to do is put my exhaust on my big block pipe, and then I got to put a new receiver in here and a new transmitter, and this thing will be pretty much ready to run. I mean, after that, as far as that goes. So and I really like how I relocated the battery box to be up here. This is so nice because it's out of the way. It fit perfectly in here in these servo or the shock tower. Originally, it would have went here. You can see the indentation in the frame or where it rubbed, where it did go. I couldn't fit it back in here because I moved the transmission forward a half of an inch so that the spur gear would have hit the battery box. So that's why I didn't put it back there. And it also kind of cleans up the frame too a little bit, doing it that way. So let's go ahead and hook the fuel line back up to the carburetor because I'm done in that area as far as drilling and stuff. I just didn't want to get stuff into the carburetor fuel inlet line. So I'm gonna put the line back on to where it goes. So I'm gonna pop that line right back on there, just like that. See, and then that'll be out of the way of everything. It won't even hit that fuel line at all, but it's close, but it won't hit. So now I've got to figure out how to hook up my throttle. And then this hose goes to the exhaust. This is the vacuum to your exhaust. 2 lines, that's it for the line running. Put that back up there so you guys can see. So I did hook up the steering servo. You can hear the motor when I turn the wheels. So that's hooked up. I don't have no power to anything yet because I don't have a receiver. But like I said, I'm going to get one of those soon. Now I got to figure out, this is throttle wire that will go from the servo or the throttle horn to my new carburetor slide on my big block. So now I've got to figure out what I need to do to make this longer. I could like solder on a longer wire on this to make it work, or flex braze on a longer piece of wire to this, and then it would work. But I don't think that I have a longer wire. I can look at my parts bin and see what I have. So that's what I'm going to do now. I might have something that'll work. So I'm just going to look through my parts here. I've got so much stuff in here. I'm just going to go through all my parts and see what I have. Let's see. This is a long wire, but it's not threaded. I got another throttle horn in here, but none of this stuff in here will work. So we'll see what else I got. That's fuel lines. Let's see, what is this? See, now that's, you know what, guys, I think I just found my longer wire. Got one right here. This is wonderful. This will actually work for what I need. I'm going to take this apart. So this was an old linkage I had, and look, it's got the right throttle thing on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all this crap off of here and make it the length that I need it to be, and then guess what? I'll have a throttle wire. So I'm going to, where's the Revo? I don't have a Revo, bro. I used to have one though. The closest to the Revo I got is the Big Blue Monster, which is over here on my shelf, if that's the one that you're talking about. So basically what I'm going to do, so there's my wire that I'm going to use for my throttle. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this stuff off so I can see what I'm doing. And then I've got to see exactly where I need the throttle to be. I'm pretty sure it's straight. I'm just going to go by straight on here because that's the way it is on my other truck. And if I do need to adjust this wire, I can. So I'm going to go ahead and get this ready to go. This should work pretty good for my new throttle setup. So I'm taking off this one that was on here so I can make room for my new rod. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take off this stock throttle horn. It's just a piece of plastic. See that? And we're going to thread it on to this. And now I got to see exactly how long I'm gonna need this and where I need to bend it. So I need to bend it straight down from that point right there. So now we're gonna do a little bit of bending. So this is gonna be my new throttle setup. So now that should work pretty good when I do put this in here. So I'm gonna bend these wires. I'm just getting the bends in it. There we go. Now this wire can be a real pain in the butt sometimes because it can be a challenge to bend sometimes. So you just gotta work with it and it'll bend the way you want it to. Now I'm gonna cut the end of that wire off where I need it to be cut. All right, so now that should fit right in there, okay? So I'm gonna get right down here so you guys can see what I'm working on. So I'm going to put in, I'm gonna have to move that throttle or that fuel line. So I'm gonna put this back on just the way it came off. Now this can be a little bit of a trick because you're gonna push this thing right back on here, and it can be a little bigger to get back on sometimes. See, I didn't want to go on the first time. Just gotta take your time and it'll go on there. But once you get it on there, it'll stay on there. I just gotta find the right, there we go. Got it to snap in there. So now I'll show you guys that the throttle is going to work on this. The link connected to the throttle horn to the slide. So now when you move the servo horn, now it's going to want to open it up. That actually works really good. No binding. It operates pretty good. Looks great. Okay. So now we got that part. Now I'm going to have to keep in mind, this isn't going to be perfect when I start the truck. So I'm going to have to make some adjustments to it as I go along. But you guys can see how the throttle operates now. See how I'm doing that? That's how the throttle works. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right. So that is how you hook up the throttle. Now I'm going to put the air cleaner back on again for the third time. And then we're going to hook up the fuel line like so. Everything's out of the way and it doesn't hit on anything. So we're good there. We got clearance everywhere. I'm really happy with how this truck's turning out. Pretty cool. The only other thing that I need to do now, this truck's almost done, guys. I did a lot of work to this thing, but it's turning out really good. The only thing I have left to do is get a new receiver. I need to secure my exhaust. Oh, that's what I was going to do. Look for an exhaust spring for my exhaust. I should have one of those too. Oh, you know what? I have another linkage too that I could have used. I got two of them. Here's one right here. Same thing as what I used. So if I ever do another truck that I'm doing a conversion on, I can use this. You know what this is, guys, really? This linkage is for the reverse. This is the reverse rod for a Tmaxx. There's the reverse right there. If you pull this straight out, the truck's got reverse gear. But I didn't want that on there, so I take them off. And I had two of these, and I used one of them for my throttle. So that worked out pretty good. So that's that. And then I'm going to be looking for an exhaust spring for my exhaust. I think I have one somewhere. Somewhere in here I should have something. And if I don't, I can get something for it to work. I don't think I have one. Oh, I got two of them. There's another one I found. Yeah, those linkages, I save everything that I take off. Any part that I take off, I save, and I'm kind of glad that I do that because if I need parts, I have them. So now, this is exciting, guys. We're getting down to the wire on starting this up for the first time. The only other, I need to get me a drive shaft so I can get this drive shaft put in. Then it should be good. So I'm going to put my air filter oil away because I no longer need that out. Because I got that all oiled up and put back into place. So that's it for what I needed to do to it tonight. Pretty cool. I'm really happy with how that throttle turned out, and that's actually going to be pretty nice. Real cool. I'm going to put the body back on my Chevy because I don't need that off anymore. I was just using it as a reference of where I need to put my throttle horn on it. All right. So now I'm going to show you guys just how cool it looks with the body on it. Because Austin, you probably haven't seen it. If you're still me, are you still on, Austin? I'm just cleaning up some of my tools here. Okay, great. What do you think of the truck so far? It's pretty clever about how I hooked up the throttle because I didn't realize that I could use those. This is all I cut off of that rod. literally just that much. But there, that's it to make it work. So I'm going to show you with the body, see it when I got it done. But this is the fitted body for the truck, Dodge Ram. I had to cut the body back to accommodate room for the engine. I put all the decals on it, or I just printed them off on the printer and taped them on, got the headlights put on, tinted the windows. Turned out pretty cool. Now, when you put a big block engine on a short wheelbase, it's going to add quite a bit of weight to it. What color is that? Well, I painted the inside of the body chrome, and on the outside, it turned out to be silver. So that's the color that I chose. I mean, I thought it was going to be shinier than that, but hey, it's okay. Give it kind of a cool look. So basically, this truck's almost ready to go. I'm really excited. I can't wait to start it up and hear it run. It's gonna go real good. And then for the front drive shaft, you can see the short shaft that I put in. I'll just show you. Get down in here. That's my short drive shaft that I had to cut down for the drive, and it works real good. Got full drive right there. Now the rear one's going to connect from here to there, and the problem is the stock one is too short to fit in here. These come apart like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find me a shaft that has a longer one of these and cut it down to fit inside of here. And then I'll have a four-wheel drive truck again. So it's about 97% complete right now. I just got to do a little bit of work. Now, that's the brake disc right there. That stops the whole truck. This disc right here. Thanks, Austin. Yeah, that's what stops the whole truck, this ceramic brake disc. And it has the upgraded front end. That's why it's blue. Those are the RPM upgraded A-arms. I bought the truck like that. So pretty cool how it was already upgraded when I got it. So yeah, that's the progress. And I can actually see these shafts in here for the wheels. These are actually longer. So if I can find another drive shaft off of one of these for the wheels, I'm just going to use one of those for my rear drive shaft so I can have a four-wheel drive again. Because right now it's just a front-wheel drive. I'm not going to run it until I get it both drive shafts put on. So, pretty cool how it all turned out. Looks awesome. Now, another thing I'm going to do is I'm thinking about putting a second fuel tank on here because I had to move my battery box up here. I can put another fuel tank right here and tee it into this one and then have 2 full tanks of fuel for longer run time. And I think I might consider doing that. We'll just have to see how it does after I run it and all that. But I'm pretty sure that it'll be pretty good. So it'll be a pretty good truck. So now, that's about all that I have for tonight as far as build. But I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you guys. Thank you to all my new subscribers that sub to my channel. I appreciate you guys. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button down below. It would help me out a lot. I'm always looking for new people to watch my content. So if you know anybody that's in the Nitro RC, and you don't really have to be in the Nitro RC, really. I mean, if you just love watching my content, that's great. I appreciate you guys that take the time to watch my content. But if you know of anybody that's into this hobby, send them down my way. Tell them about me. Tell them I have a channel. And if you guys need any help with anything as far as working on these guys, I'd be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have. I may not know every single thing, but at least I could help somebody out somehow or some way. So I really appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching and have a great night.